You don't need any fat or anything. You just put it on directly. You heat it up like really high heat, and then you can just like make this Japanese one where it's bleeding inside.
Oh,
awesome!
I love that one.
Yeah. So you just gently fold it and kind of tap the handle.
Do you know how to make those omelets? The Japanese style omelets.
I'm trying at the moment, but it's really, yeah. But when we played, I had I loved the eggs in Japan. Everybody was hating them because they were really soft. They were not cooked. They were cooked really lightly, and apparently you changed your mind, both of you.
No, I like scrambled eggs. I mean, quite soft, quite wet.
Yeah,
that's how I like them.
Egg too, when they're like well done, that's the worst. Also like
a well done omelet. That's not you.
No, not gonna. It can be brown. Also when you do like
no, it shouldn't be brown. Definitely.
Also when you do a sunny side up, the burnt stuff in this.
We should do like a MasterChef episode one day.
You're really into food though.
Yeah. There's this one. There's this. My Instagram at the moment. When you go into like what is it called in English?
Udforsk, the
explore
one.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
Discover.
It's just
discover.
It's just food all the time. And
but also, you can argue that when you look at your Instagram page or your stories, at least it's more or less.
It has
a
become
food blogger, or it's a. Yeah.
It's a mixture. Yeah. But there's this guy who makes Japanese style omelets in different colors. So he makes them in pink and green and black and I don't know. He probably just adds some color stuff. Let me just see if I can find.
Don't you think it's from like natural ingredients? He does it.
Nah.
No.
It seems kind of weird.
Wait. Oh, actually, when I just arrived today, Anders he got a reminder on his phone that he has a table in Geranium on Friday.
I have. Yeah.
On Friday.
Yeah.
Wow.
Have you been there?
Yeah, once, and it was. Okay, it looks kind of disgusting though.
No, it's not.
But that's the exact omelet. I think that one you have to like, yeah. I want to do that. A lot of cheese.
I'll send you this page. Is this the type of pan you use?
Yeah, exactly. I need to perfect that move.
Do you use the chopsticks as well?
No, that's maybe the.
So you're still an amateur.
Yeah. That's a lot of cheese.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Just remove the cheese, but this looks so good. Look at it.
You can do the cheese with your, food.
I'll say this. Rice underscore omelet.
Yeah. With your diet, that's not okay.
I'm not eating a lot of cheese these days.
You're trashing him a bit when he's eating like he's.
And Christian.
Yeah.
I'm trashing him all the time.
In general, no, I'm trashing you when it comes to your nutrition and stuff.
Yeah, but that's also fair enough.
He's eating pretty unhealthy, and some mornings at practice he's smelling like bacon or something.
Yeah, that's because actually I make bacon for my son.
Wow.
Yeah, nice. Turkey bacon.
Oh, but yeah, I would say
I don't eat it myself.
I would say I have some recordings on my phone where, before pretty big matches, you won't believe what he's been eating.
Hans Christian. Hans Christian.
Yeah.
You're really into sweets and candy. And all that
I don't
stuff.
eat that for breakfast though. But I eat it almost every night.
I'm not convinced. Well, I don't know if
there was sweets in my house in the mornings, I would eat it.
You would?
Yeah, but I always if I open sweets in the evening, I will finish it. So there won't be anything left for the morning.
I also remember some candy raids on our room. After
especially if I lose
bad games. Yeah.
If I lose, then I will go empty like a 7-Eleven or something for candy or sweets.
Yeah. What is your go-to in the 7-Eleven?
Anything that's sour.
Sour?
Yeah. Big on sour.
And it's actually sometimes quite hard to find in Asia. There's very limited options.
I mean, do you mean like chips with sour cream?
No, more like sour wine gums. So with a sour taste.
You're really into candy. I mean,
yeah,
gummy bears and stuff like that.
It's a big thing.
That's kind of your thing. That's weird.
Yeah.
I don't know if this intro will make it to the episode, but anyway,
we'll
it was nice talking about omelets and and bad food habits. No, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Badminton Experience. We have a very special guest today, Jan Ø Jørgensen. as we say in Danish, Jan Ø Jørgensen, if you have been watching some of his matches on television. It's a great pleasure to have Jan here. I mean, should we just mention some of his achievements before we head into the episode? Like Thomas Cup winner, he was on the winning team.
You weren't.
I weren't. You were. Yeah. Congratulations, guys. China Open winner, Indonesia Open winner, French Open, Denmark Open.
Yeah.
Those were the like the major titles that you claimed.
Yeah. Former world number 2.
Former world number 2. Yeah.
And he's a current world number 2.
Current, yeah. Just this week, though. I guess I drop. Next week. But I'll take it though.
So it's opened up or the ranking?
Not yet, but they have started the process.
Okay.
And so in January it will be like a normal ranking, but because some weeks are being removed, Anders will move up to second place.
How do they remove the one from? It's more or less 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So they
remove 3 or 4 weeks every week, and they start, of course, from.
But it's these weeks they remove like 2 years ago. The exact one. Okay. Yeah.
No, I don't know about that.
No.
Okay, that's pretty interesting though. How many they remove is pretty crucial when you enter the tournaments. Like
they froze it in March 2020.
Yeah.
And so when they started removing them, they started removing from March 2020, and every week they will remove 3 or 4 weeks.
Okay.
I think it's
from
4
back.
weeks.
It's 4 weeks. Yeah.
So I had a pretty good 2019. No, so those don't count anymore. 2019 doesn't count anymore.
No, those should be removed, right?
It's 20
by now.
Okay, yeah. Okay. That's fine. That's fine. I thought that I was going to lose a lot of my points from 2019, but maybe I already have. Anyways, the ranking is messed up at the moment, but from January it will be back to normal. But that's right. We made a podcast last week, a live session, and in the comments, a lot of them said congratulations on being world number 2 next week. Okay. And I was like, what? I thought I was going to drop to like top 15 or something like that. Probably still will. I don't know.
I think you will stay top 10.
Jan, how are you doing?
I'm good. Kids' life is tough, especially when they start in daycare. It's you can't talk about that, but as Christian can.
I can relate.
I'm here to learn.
We just moved from we've been living in Germany for 2 years. My wife plays handball, and that's why we were there. And I basically moved directly from ending my career training with you guys in Brøndby to living a more slow life in Germany. Just collecting everything, thoughts, and also. Getting back energy-wise, body-wise, all that, mental, especially after a long career of traveling the whole world. So it's been nice, and we just moved back this summer, and 2 kids on the board as well. So a lot of planning and all that stuff. It's a different life than traveling around.
How old are the girls?
They're 16 months now.
16 months.
Yeah, boy and a girl.
It's 1 boy, 1 girl.
Boy and a girl.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
So
I gotta tell you, I've only been with your children once, and I was sick the day after. So, and I feel like I can hear something in your voice today. So
that's has become my regular voice. This like this humming.
It's not because you are raising your voice to your children.
But I've tested for COVID so many times and went to the doctors and everything, and it's just a sore throat and no fever, no nothing. And he just says, and my wife does as well, just get your shit together.
Kids, they bring back like everything from daycare.
Yeah,
it's crazy. You will maybe learn about it someday.
It's also because they eat absolute everything. They put everything into their mouth.
Yeah,
they do.
Yeah.
It's how they kind of like adapt to all the bacteria there's around, or I guess it's
and how just cover and learn stuff as well. I think it's a natural thing to put stuff in your mouth, like it's it's different, and obviously a lot of energy, and that's what I do now. That's the whole focus now. Stine is still playing professional and training twice a day and games and all, so I'm more or less trying to make things work at home, more or less. So that's what I do right now.
But it's not like you don't work at all, right? You do have like small jobs on the side,
Since Uber Cup in Denmark, I have been making like planning and video for Kirsty Gilmore from the Scottish team. Been there a few weeks as well for actual training, but it's been like a planning job, and I've seen like a crazy amount of women's single video, and I've done more or less all her game preparation since then. So it's been like quite a lot. But it's perfectly, goes hand in hand with having a family and having a lot.
You can do it from home.
And it's on my own conditions, so I can do it whenever I have time. So that's pretty neat. And then
so how does that work when she's at a tournament? Like if
I talk with her more, in the evening, and then we make the prep for the next day. So every time she's been playing, I'm trying to watch the game, or then I have, now I have this big database with like notes, so it's a bit easier now and I know the players pretty well because I've seen so many of them play. And I'm also helping a bit with where she's playing in Vendsyssel, also in the Danish league. It's not much, but I'm there for the games here and there. Not every game, but try to come as many as possible. But it's also like it's a bit of a how do you say that in English? It's like a it's a close friend, Allan Kolbo, who's the coach from Vendsyssel. So it's it's also because of that I'm helping him out.
Are you still attached to Vendsyssel, the club?
Yeah, I was just there for the last two games.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Last week. So I'm attached this season as well.
Okay.
It's been almost 2 years now. I rewatched your final match from Denmark Open.
We have to talk about that.
It popped up on my YouTube, actually just by coincidence. I didn't search for it or anything, but it reminded me that it's been 2 years because Denmark Open is just in a few weeks, right? And that was where you played your last match against me, which was
no crying today.
No crying. No crying today. But back then it was quite emotional. It was a very, very tough match to play. I guess for both of us, especially for you, but for me as well. So it's been 2 years. I mean, now there's 2 kids, and you're living a way different lifestyle now. Yep. You moved to Germany. I mean,
I'm back home.
Back home now again. So I just guess it must be, I mean, so different. How have you been dealing with retiring? Do you miss the old life, or are you just happy where you are now?
I'm really happy where I am at the moment. It's not like, you hear so many athletes go down this road of being, they miss the excitement, the adrenaline and all that, and I must be honest and say I haven't had a single day where I felt like going back in on the court. So it's been the perfect decision for me, and you could say, but COVID was like a blessing in disguise for me, as I was really already in the beginning of the year after I think when we go in December we just train pretty much, and then we go you train a lot, and then we go into starting the tournaments again in January, and I was fed up at that moment. And
when was that? 2018?
No, we're talking 20 actually, aren't we?
Between 19 and 18. 19 and 20.
20, yeah. Just sitting in the car going to Brøndby each day, and just like really, I have had days where I cried in the car going home because I just felt like it was enough. And then you put on the face in training and you do your stuff, and also you go in and fill out your role in the training and all that, and I tried to fake it as much as I could in these days, and it was just enough because my body was hurting, my hip was bad, and my foot was also not at the best, and I just felt like there were so many times where I felt like I had a great idea of what to do against you guys, or I could see like, okay, this is where I need to go, or I need to do this stuff to put myself in conditions to win against whatever player, and I just couldn't do it. So it was really tough to have a great idea of, okay, this is what is needed from me at the moment, but I just can't do it. And that just it was just enough at that time. But I had a moment in Paris a few months in 2019, in the tournament after Denmark Open in 19, where I felt like, okay, it could be close. That was the first time I really felt like, okay, it could actually be closer than I thought.
Like to retire sooner than you expected. Yeah. Okay, so
why did you get that feeling in France?
I just had a really good talk with a close one, and then suddenly this stuff came up, and I just felt like, okay, this could be the time, and because I kind of like have cheated a little bit on, like, you say a lot of stuff to yourself to keep this perception of yourself when you're an athlete. Like, there's certain things you don't say to yourself in order to keep you competitive and
be confident. And
exactly. Yeah. So even though deep inside you can be really afraid or scared, or am I good enough, and all these things, which is natural to think of when you when you lie on the pillow at night. But then when you come to tournament training, you get your shit together and you put on a face. And when you deal with a tough time, that can also be a way out of it. Like, and then suddenly you play well because the whole system knows what to do. Yeah. But it was, and then I remember playing All England, and the COVID came, and I was just like, oh, this is actually, I'm pretty fine with not training, and everybody was like, let's get out and play. And I was just
trying to find other ways to be able to go for training and stuff. Yeah.
So that was actually pretty nice for me. And then I had my eyes on the Thomas Cup in May, but it got cancelled, and then the one in October after Denmark Open. But then also the opportunity of moving to Germany with Stine was perfectly there, and it was just a great time to call it quit.
Yeah. So the last few years of your career, you were struggling with a bunch of injuries, right? Your heel was the first one, then your hip, right?
Yeah.
Those were like the two major injuries that
I had. The hip before the heel.
Oh, okay.
Hip came in 16, around the Europeans. I played the Europeans without like feeling good. I was doing well at that time and playing. I think I was at more or less my peak during 16, and I just got it in my left hip, and it was the cartilage which was more or less teared down. It's like you have this super thin stuff in between the bones, and it came down to a certain level where it's bone to bone, which is not nice.
So that's like no layer of protection.
Yeah. Did you get surgery or no?
No, they told me to just before the Olympics, which was a no-go.
Okay.
And then I just postponed it and found a way of training. Like, every muscle around it can be really strong, and then I just found a way. And then then 17 came. I actually, in hindsight, I have this crazy idea that it was actually a wrong shoe size, which cost me the whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah, which is pretty absurd.
Shoe size?
Yeah.
Okay.
Were they too small or too big?
Too small.
Too small?
Yeah, it's actually pretty crazy. Yeah. I went to India, the Indian League, with a wrong size shoe.
Okay.
Half a size.
That caused the hip or the heel?
No, the heel.
The heel.
Which is absurd.
So you played for the full 4 weeks with a small size shoe?
I think so.
Okay.
It's because was it not possible? I have at that moment I had a special made Yonex shoe.
Yeah.
And I think I had the wrong run from Yonex.
Okay.
Bose, which is tiny less small.
Okay. And it wasn't possible to like get the right size while you were there. You didn't think that it was. Okay. So you didn't think about it when you were in India. No. Okay.
It's kind of weird that you didn't realize that this shoe is too small.
But it was like a few, not even half a centimeter. I think it was just a little bit. So
that's a good headline for this episode. Like.
But you've been dealing with that injury as well, right in your heel.
Yeah, I don't know if it was because of my shoe, but I think it's also just tough to play men's singles.
I've been dealing with the same injury as well. Probably not. I mean, not as bad as you guys. But it's a common injury. I mean, I think.
Yeah, but something triggers it for sure. So maybe it's a shoe. Maybe it's
let's say I had a problem before, and then this one was the. But then and then I did also the whole process of dealing with it was pretty bad. I got like thrown into the system with like salt water injection.
I had that one too.
The Binyrbakomon, what is that called? I don't know.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Some kind of injection that should make the pain go away.
Yeah.
Slow it up and then put in.
It's
put
like
in
a hormone injection.
Yeah.
Some kind of hormone injection you get. Yeah.
You can make an explainer. Like you have this nice guy sitting behind.
We'll do something.
Yeah.
So give the guys.
And then back to then I just said, okay, now I'm going. I just went off the record 4 months more or less without coming in Brøndby, and I just found my own way of exercising my feet and everything, and then it took 4.5 months and I was back. And I just had and that's more or less that was through 3 months going back and forth with.
Was the heel injury the most difficult to get back to?
100%.
To your okay.
Also because it was that long. I played. I think I played all England, and played nationals and lost to you.
That's bad.
Yeah.
You've done that as well.
Too many times.
I was to say I didn't think I could lose.
Yeah.
That was just the thing.
I would also say for Jan, it's bad losing too. For me, it's more
at the time he was world number 2, and I was 19 years old. So
exactly, it was bad.
Yeah, but you also tried to lose to really. That's.
I have experienced that as well. I mean, losing to a younger guy coming up.
But then I
wasn't the one bringing this up. I mean, I'm fine.
But then I tried to get ready for Indonesia and Australian Open, and I had to pull out in Australia, and then I was out for the rest of the year. So I played the first few tournaments and then the summer ones, and then I was out until Swiss Open 2019.
So what I'm getting to is that the main reason why you had to retire was that your body was just not feeling well anymore, and it is so hard mentally to every single day have to deal with pain. It's so draining. I've tried it, you have tried it, so I mean every single day is painful because the training is very hard, but then you also have to deal with 1 or 2 minor things, maybe it's not minor, and it's just so draining in the end. So did you feel like you simply couldn't handle any more pain at the time?
Yeah, but it was not the pain was not like I couldn't train. It was just small stuff
you couldn't train hard enough or at the high enough pace to beat guys the top guys.
But a lot of guys would say that this is look at the training, it's perfectly fine. But it's just tough when you. I've seen what it takes to be up there, really up there, and it was just so annoying not to, to see stuff and have a great idea of what to do, and I just couldn't do it.
Your body couldn't do it.
No, and I was not fast enough. And then I went out. Then I sat out for more or less a year, and I would say, okay, it's. I think it's for almost everybody. I think it's tough to go out that long. I think Marine is pretty crazy that she's,
but also at that age,
coming back twice.
Being out for that long in that age is difficult.
But just look at Momota now. It's he was different reasons, but it's really tough, and he was impossible to beat at that time before the accident, and then now he's human, and I'm sure he'll be at a stage where he can win tournaments again. It's pretty, but he's not gonna be supreme in that.
I think that's also where it's it will be tougher for you and also for him compared to if I was going through the same, because I've not been at the exact same level, so it's a little bit harder for you guys to accept. You've been winning tournaments like China Open, Indonesia Open, so making a quarterfinal every now and then is not really something that kind of turns you on, where for me it's more that's still a good result for me, because it's basically that level that's been my top level throughout my career.
I remember reaching the semifinals in Japan, where I haven't been in a semifinal for quite a while.
You beat Cho in that one, right?
Cho, Lindan, and I just had a really bad draw, and I just played really well, and And I remember just playing Christie, and I had so many ideas of where to go and how to do it. I was just tired, and I just couldn't do it, and I lost like 15 and 16. Played all right, but I just had so many ideas of planning before and tactical stuff where I could hurt him. He was just too fast, too strong on the whole scale. So it was like I was happy, but it was also like okay. And then he got beaten by Momota or something like that in the final. And okay, he's even further.
In your younger days, you were extremely fast, like outrageous fast. I mean, I don't remember many players, I mean, especially from Europe, who was faster than Jan. Especially coming from the baseline to the net. That specific movement was like your trademark when you were young. You were so fast. And I can, if I should be like objective, you definitely lost a bit of speed in your later days, and I think that you were relying a lot on your speed in your younger days, and that was also the thing that made it very difficult for you in the end. Was kind of how I saw it. Would you agree on that? I mean,
that's I totally agree. I think when you have a career, you go into different stages of. Young, you play a bit with your, could be
physique and speed.
And also like so many young players give it a go and play a bit more stupid, and I did as well. And I was really aggressive. And then I found this way of okay, I'm actually super strong, like stamina. I could run more or less everybody down if I could keep it in play. And then I had this time where I did that, and it didn't really pay off. It paid off a little bit, but not like it was really tough to do that like week in, just run everybody down. But I had those weeks where it's just like. Remember running forever with Duping, running forever with Lindan, and then running forever with Chin and just like quarterfinal dead. And then you have to do it all over. Like Lee Hyun-il, run with him, those guys. But it was kind of the style at that point. Like so many players won tournaments with just being a bit passive and just keep it in play a bit. And then I had this time, and then I kind of. I didn't like to play like that actually. It was not like my core belief in how I should be playing or how I like play badminton. And then I found this way, I think, in my best days. I had this in-between stuff where everybody was like, oh, Jesus, we have to run like forever against it. But I could still score a lot of points and I was fast and I used that. And definitely right that I wasn't near as fast as I was in the early days. That's for sure. And then, but it's also, I think you need to find a way, and I tried to find a way of being smarter, and also like, let's say the pace wasn't that high. If it was just down here, I would be tough to beat. That was like my. So when I played guys, Christie for example, impossible for me to beat him because he was so fast and all his shots were, comes out really fast in his racket. So it was so tough for me to play just against him. Like overall speed was better at that time, but those that was really annoying for me because my body got thrown around on the court.
The way he disguised many of his strokes is annoying. It's annoying.
Super annoying.
It's very annoying. Have you played against Jonatan Christie? You must have.
Yeah, I have twice. Lost twice. I was down 11-0 in one of them.
Okay.
I lost 22-20 and then I was down 11-0 in the second game in Istordasenai, and that wasn't like the most fun experience I've ever had. Okay. I'll admit that.
I really love playing against him, but it's also like I really had him when he was younger. Remember a specific one in Indonesia where I was on my heels and I didn't stand a chance. He was just really playing well and I was not feeling it. And then I just found a way of, just provocative, being a little bit like...
I remember that one. You actually got the full crowd really against you, but it kind of affected him more than it affected you.
That was like my... It was the only thing I could win. There was just like going that energy. And... let's say he had been going out in the media afterwards and saying, "Yeah, and it's such a blah blah blah," and pointing fingers. He didn't. He just said that, okay, I need to learn from this. He found a way of winning, and that's not something which happens a lot. But he's. I kind of really respected that, and I think also he, I tried to do it again, but he was just, he learned from that experience, and
he was on the come up at the time, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but I should have lost that one. But I beat both Genting and him in the same tournament. There was not like super popular. Yeah, and it was just after Thomas Cup also.
So that's the 1 year where we were actually already unpopular, because that's the only time I remember in Indonesia where people actually did not like us in that arena. So like everyone from Denmark.
Yeah, but there was also something about a mixed double. No,
I think there was a lot of things going on. Like we won that Thomas Cup, but I think also Bo, he made some comments in like in a press conference after one of the matches, which were pretty unpopular, and so like we just ended up being booed in the arena quite a few times. All of you? Yeah, almost all of the Danes.
Go home, Denmark, something like that.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I've never experienced that.
No, but it's also like the only time in Indonesia it's ever happened, because usually.
But then the year after, everything was back to normal.
Back to normal, yeah.
In Indonesia 9 was kind of like your home court, right? 3 finals in a row.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
In the Indonesia Open.
Yeah.
Matter of fact.
Yeah.
And it's also where you got your breakthrough when you beat Gade back then.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's many years ago. Yeah. But I lost to Tago, who was like 1 year younger than me. 17 and 18 or 17 or 19, I was something like that. And
you defeated Peter Gade.
Yeah, that's actually
in Indonesia 9.
Really good story.
How old were you back then?
I think I was 19.
Yeah, 19.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you were like the first European to beat him in something like 10 years in international tournament.
And sharing a room with him.
Yeah.
Oh, that must have been tough.
That was tough.
Please share what was that like?
That was just unpleasant. Let's just say that. Let's just not go into detail. That was just unpleasant.
Oh, let's go into
and
detail.
It's still like a funny thing when we are together. Like it's something like, especially the people in around us like to ask about.
I think I would ask about that as well. I would love to hear Peter.
No, it's just I was just super excited. I it was more or less my first trip to Asia, and I beat my big idol. It was pretty crazy for me to be in that situation. It was all I dreamed about, like playing later stages at such a big tournament, and then luck and everything, stars were aligned, I think.
Yeah.
And then I beat him.
When luck meets opportunity.
Yeah, and he just wasn't
happy about it. No,
it's also actually crazy to think that you were sharing a room. Like nowadays, it would be completely unrealistic to think that the best Danish men's singles would share a room with anyone.
Yeah, but it's
like
just
everyone has single rooms now.
Yeah, almost. Yeah.
Peter could easily do it at that time. I think it was just like but there was also some educating stuff in it. Like it was, I think it was like the politics that we shared.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, everyone shared.
Wasn't it just to save money or?
No, it was just normal. Like that's how they always did, and like it's always been. So I don't think anyone really thought about.
There weren't really any like
money
economic talk about it, like for the younger players, of course. But you had like quite a bigger budget at that time when you were a young player in the Danish setup. You had more money than you have now.
Yeah, for sure. You got more funding back then than you do now.
We didn't really. Yeah, but then I also shared with Kenneth actually.
Our current coach.
Yeah.
You didn't book yourself?
No.
Okay.
No.
The federation did for you?
Yeah. I don't know when it changed actually, when people started staying in single rooms.
It's just because sometimes it was cheaper, and then that whole, like, you wanted to have more money for the whole season. I think that, and then people discovered some discovered the luxury lifestyle.
I would have
comes
loved
along
to be like a fly on the wall when Peter got back into the room and you're there, like you must have been like so excited about beating him. And then he's there and you need.
But I actually went to another room to do all the media talk and all that. And then I went back to the room and he wasn't there, and he came back late at night. But one thing I do remember is that we didn't talk that much, but we could definitely sense that he was not happy. But I really respect him for the day after when we woke up. He went back home and he said that all the best and
good luck.
Really try and give it all now. Like use this opportunity. And I kind of respect that. I remember that as a fine little gesture. And respect also for beating him, though maybe that wasn't the case at the moment. But obviously, like so much history with Peter, also like training wise and all. And
how was he? Because I've never experienced it here. It was before my time. How was he to practice with?
It was tough, but I think it was fair though. but yeah, you have been training with me, so I think I was trying to follow those guidelines more or less, that it's all right to be harsh or tough on court as long as it's for getting better quality or winning. That was the whole thing, and I think he had the same mindset. And sometimes it can be a bit over the line, and then he loudly changed. Thomas, the coach, had we need to change Jan and Joachim because they were too bad. That's I remember being sent home more or less by Peter. Yeah. One time, training ends now because
he wasn't happy with the sparring.
Yeah.
So he was really demanding a lot from you guys.
But then you freaking came back the next day and showed him that this was a one-time situation. So I think that's Okay. There was a lot of good to it. Like that's my whole. I don't think the whole culture would have been what it is today if he hadn't been searching the limits of the whole sparring thing and quality.
So do you think he was kind of like the first guy to set these high standards for how to practice? And
I don't know. I only know him. For like. So I don't know what was there before, but I think the early days they also had this. They really wanted to win when they played against each other. The whole group with the Paul Erik and Sture Lauritsen and all those guys.
Peter Rasmussen.
Yeah. So it's just also that there's always been like quite a lot of players. That's the whole thing. So
I think for sure he's probably one of the more like harsher guys in terms of the way he communicated as well.
Yeah. He was really direct. Yeah. But also there was no bullshit. It was just it was honest all the time. No I kind of like that.
I feel like in my years on the training, it's always been like just a good vibe in general. People is always trying their absolute best, but we're working hard, but we're still having fun, and we are joking with each other a lot. We've always been doing that. You guys were really good at teaching that to me and the next generation. But it's never been like harsh or something like that. It's always been in a good way. I think the practice in Brøndby has always been very, very good in that way. One thing I would say about you, Jan, and not so much about you, Hans Christian, is that when I had some of my first practices at Brøndby, you were extremely good at like teaching and giving back and like giving me constructive criticism, feedback, all this stuff. That was like one of the things that you were really good at, and we always talk about this when we have those group meetings with all the men's single players. We have them like every now and then,
every 6 months or something.
Kind of like discuss what can we do better on the practice and stuff. And the one thing that we always talk about is like. Give more feedback to each other. Be better to give feedback, criticism. It's always been like every single meeting, and we are good at it for like the first few practices, and then we just kind of like forget about it. But you were really good at it. I mean, throughout your whole career, that was quite awesome. I still remember some of the very, very first practices. I was like 18, 19, extremely annoying, just provocative, very provocative, screaming, shouting, trying to annoy you guys as much as possible. And you said to me, keep that. That's right. And I mean, if I was you, I was like, shut up or something like that.
I think I also told you to shut up and called you a little spoiled kid at once.
But you still realized that that was actually good. That I was bringing that intensity to you.
Yeah, but I think like you can still grow as a player, and of course when you get like when you found your way and you enter the world class, not like you run around and scream, but you can still keep that kind of like mentality of being like just there on your opponents or annoying, or it can be a look like or just like a vibe or anything when you enter the court. And I think that's super important to kind of like, of course you can scream around and be, do the stuff you did when you were young, when you are where you are now. But I think it's really important to keep that kind of like hunger and also intensity in your how do you say that, your mental state, or your you gotta stay hungry to otherwise it
and it's very very difficult to maintain. And I have had moments where I kind of like missed that from myself. You know, that excitement about playing a match in practice and just really want to win. And it's one of the things that I really admire Victor for, is that he just destroys you every single time if he has the chance. I kind of lose that sometimes. Then I lose a set here and there where I maybe should have won. But that's that's.
Now we spoke about Peter. That's also one of the areas where he was like insanely good.
Okay.
I always had the feeling like I had to play my very best in training to have any chance. Like even if he had a bad day, you would often feel like you're still up like 1 or 2 points. He would always be there, and then if you didn't keep your focus, he would just punish you. He wouldn't give away a game at any point unless you really deserved it.
I lost so many times where I felt like I should have won. Leading late into the game and then losing in the end. I didn't have the same ability to do that when we had a match practice. I didn't have that. I was better when the mats were on and the lights was on during the tournaments and everything. I just, that was one of the things maybe I could have done better. Wednesday evening wasn't my that's game. Don't know if it
Wednesday evening is game practice.
It's today, but it was at that time.
Still is.
And sometimes Kenneth gave away the seating or the match, the program for who you were going to play, and you made a little prep and everything, and he tried to put it up as a big game. And I just had difficulties getting to that exact same feeling Wednesday evening. I like more the tougher 1v1s or the
doing lots of drills instead.
That was more my thing. I could go into the quality there, but I struggled with the games.
Since you're so good at feedback, and I completely agree with Anders, because it's not only Anders who says it, it's in a lot of our meetings as well. You've been mentioned as well, because all the guys feel like that. So it's also pretty obvious that I think everyone believes you would be a great coach. And you are doing a little bit of coaching, but is it something you see in your future, like full time?
I actually had this idea of, I want to see myself as more than a badminton guy. That's the whole thing, right? I've been trying really hard to explore other stuff, and I have my hands on different stuff as well. But there's always this, you get sucked into this
badminton world.
It's impossible not to. And it's also, I feel like I have like a lot of knowledge to give back, and I also see myself as. I think I have some qualities also, like how do you say that, like with the social stuff, and I've learned,
so like your personal skills.
I think that also, like this compared, goes along with my badminton knowledge. I think I could I would have a great sense of knowing what to say and not to say. That's my feeling at the moment. Also, I've learned a lot with have this cooperation with Scottish Badminton Federation and especially Kirsty Gilmore, and it's just so different to coach women. And I think I learned like really a lot. It's such a different world, and there's different way of saying things and coaching, and I think I've learned like quite a lot. And I don't know yet if I can be there every day in the hall and stand there and do the grind.
Day in and day out.
I kind of like now to do like a lot of planning and video stuff on my conditions. That's pretty nice, but standing there every day, that's tough. And also, I don't know, but I feel like at some point I'm 100% I'm going to discover it at some point. I just don't know when. There's
also full-time coaching doesn't have to be like a national team coach where you have to travel a lot as well. It could be in other ways as well. I was just like curious if you saw like a future in that direction somehow.
Definitely at some point.
Could you see yourself be like just like a junior coach or a club coach?
Not club, not at the moment. There's way too much talk with parents, administration. Then this old guy comes and says, "I want to be on the team," and then we put a young guy in, and it's a mess. Crazy parents coming. I want my kid to do that. Blah blah blah. I want to. It has to be like a more professional environment. No offense, but I think that's too tough of a task. also like standing there every weekend. Matches is in the weekend, and then you do like one team, second team, third. Then you stand your whole day in. Not gonna do that. But I think like a professional environment would be more the case. But definitely juniors. But it has to be on a high level.
It's fun you mentioned before that you want to see yourself as more as the badminton guy. Do you still think of yourself as like the badminton player?
No, not at all. No. I got asked the other day if I was still playing, and I was, God no. Okay. I won't be able to, like, I haven't had a racket in my hands for, I don't know,
2 years.
I know. I played the Final Four, Danish club stuff, but that was 21 summer. Yeah. That's the last time.
Yeah, so that's a bit
then
more.
I played
that's about 1.5 years ago.
Then I took like a half court sometime in Scotland, but not like really. Yeah. Not where I was planning to play.
I would love to play in a singles now.
I wouldn't be able to. Like,
what's the age difference between you two?
He's born 87. I'm born 86. So like every second year we were in the same age group in juniors.
Okay.
And I always beat Jan until the very last tournament in juniors. He finally beat me, and then it took me like 8 years before I beat him again in seniors.
Interesting how that can switch so quickly.
Yeah.
Me and Rasmus Gemke had the same. I mean, at some point I was the best and he was clearly the best, and then it changed again, and so much mental in it.
But just to end the coach stuff, I have a lot of respect for the job itself. It's just not clear that you have been a good player and you can just go directly into being a coach. It's really I actually had this idea of educating myself within the system like quite a lot. I haven't started yet, but that's still an idea I have, within the Danish badminton system. Also the Danish sport, I don't know if Danish Sport Federation, they have some educating stuff, and they had this elite coach education, which is pretty nice, and you learn like quite a lot of stuff. Also, you can use in different areas, not just only badminton. I think that's quite interesting. Great teachers as well, big sports personalities, coaches within the Danish system, football, whatever. Handball, so that I think that could be a nice thing to start with. So I have a lot of respect for the theory behind all the practical stuff that we know. So I think that's pretty important as well.
I feel like I would say almost guarantee that you could become a great coach. That's for sure. I mean, so many years in the game and you've been playing at the absolute highest level. Of course, you have so much knowledge that you could be a great coach. And one of the things that I think we've talked about it in the past, that one thing that a good coach needs is to kind of like remove his ego. Especially if you have been used to being in the spotlight all the time and suddenly you are not the one in the spotlight. I think you could handle that very well. You don't see yourself as the badminton player anymore, so you've already removed yourself from that position or something. So I could definitely see you being a great coach.
I agree on that like a lot actually. It's super important that you don't want the shine and the limelight. That's really important, because there will always be a player standing there, and if you have the need or are eager to get like all the well done, good job, you are blah blah, then you shouldn't be a coach. Then you should be finding something else. You should be perfectly all right with standing back a bit and just knowing that you did like quite a lot of work with those players, because it's just like, you can give all you have, but you shouldn't really expect to get anything back. That's the first thing I think to.
But I never really feel like, even when you were a player, that you were seeking that like too much. Like, of course you would like to be like acknowledged for good results, but like just one thing like social media, you never really wanted to spend too much time doing that. And like I just divided. Feel like you're a little bit more low key in that area compared to
I was bit divided. It's also, our careers didn't start with that stuff. And you just, it's just normal for you to go open all the social media and stuff. But I think Instagram 2000.
It wasn't there when we started playing. That's for sure.
I don't know. It's not 10, maybe 12. I don't know.
Yeah, something like that. I think Facebook is probably from 7 or something around that time.
So that's also and I was really divided, because of course you want like to have a strong commercial output and all, and want to be earn money and all, and it comes along with that. I think today you gotta have like a setup. Let's say you know that yourself. We sit here, but you gotta have like you gotta be reachable, and you gotta be visible. It's super important, and I just wanted to play badminton and do my stuff, and then I felt like a little bit here and there, but not like I tried, but I just couldn't maintain it. Did some ads and all, and then suddenly Facebook exploded, and you have to maintain it, post like freaking all the time, and then like all the ads and sponsored stuff reached a lot of guys, and everybody clicked the like and all, and then you just couldn't handle the whole like. Then you gotta post every day, twice a day.
I can see why it must be like difficult to adapt to when you are not used to growing up with that stuff, because I've been growing up with that stuff. Social medias all the time, and it must be difficult suddenly if someone came and told me, now you have to do this stuff all the time in order to stay relevant or something. I can see why it must be difficult to like adapt to.
Also the sponsors, it's I think it's more or less in your contract today. I don't know if it is, but I think
I'm actually not sure, but
they definitely expect it, right?
Expect,
and it's definitely very important. I mean, it's difficult to make a great sponsor deal if you have if you don't even have an Instagram account or YouTube or Facebook or something like that. It is what matters at this point. I mean, how much how do you say it?
I don't know. Depends on what you want to say.
I lost it here. How many? I mean, if I put like a link somewhere, how many people can I get to push that link? How much traffic can I generate? Yes, sir. That was the one I was looking for. That is what matters at this point. Unless you just win absolutely everything, then you will.
But even if you win a lot, it still will like hamper like how much you earn and stuff if you don't have that. So like a player we mentioned her before, Yamaguchi, I would guarantee that she's probably earning less money than Tai Su Ying or some of the other girls that are below her, because she doesn't really have that personality that just shines through in social media and on the screen.
Definitely. I really feel like you definitely had the look. You came out with the high socks and the I don't know what it's called,
bunny tail thing.
The thing that I wear
pineapple.
now.
Pineapple
thing that I wear now, and the tattoos, and you really had a different look. I would love to be like like your manager. I'm trying to do everything you did, just
you
a
need
little bit
tattoos
better.
then.
No, I'm not going to get the tattoos, unfortunately. My mom hates
stay away from that.
My mom hates it.
Stupid.
It seems like an addiction, right? Once you get one, you'll have to.
Yeah, but then you get past 30 and it's a bit pathetic to keep getting it. No, but
I only noticed one I haven't seen before, actually.
Yeah, that one there.
Yeah, that one.
That one's new.
Yeah.
When did you get your last tattoo?
That was actually that one.
Okay.
That one.
Yeah. It's like a sun rising.
Yeah, it was beginning of the year.
Jan, can you just like rate Anders's hair? Because I feel like he's only going with this haircut because of you, like, because
I didn't have the
no, you didn't have like the same, but so many times he talks about the time when you look like a samurai and everything, and then he comes with this hair, and I feel like you're the inspiration. So can you just rate it from 1 to 10?
That's perfectly fine. I will take that. I like it. I kind of like it. It's it's fresh.
It would be weird if you didn't like it, even though you had almost something similar.
Yeah, because you both really like go in for that like slogan that a man should have a period of his life where he has long hair, right?
Yeah,
I did.
I think it's coming to warm. It's coming to the end. Yeah, it's
warm and it's a bit annoying, and
it's so annoying,
greasy, and
I'm really looking forward to
get a cut.
To get
you
short
had
hair
it
again.
It was nice.
I just feel like
do it in an episode, like.
Ooh, good idea.
Just send live on Instagram at some point.
Yeah.
Brushing live episode, feeling like what's going on here, and then suddenly just start to shave it. I think I'll do that at some point. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
You should do the mullet. Short. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, but how's that? That's like short in the sides, but still long in the back, right?
And short, like
short in the front as well.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
That would be amazing.
Maybe Hans Christian, you should try to have just 2 haircuts in your life instead of the
I
same.
just have this one for my entire life. I'm more like I just play it safe.
Yeah, I hate it.
It's kind of like my game style, right?
It's so boring. No. So what now, Jan? The kids is ready to get picked up from kindergarten or
45.
Yeah,
Do you have time
I also need to go actually to
Just
pick up
approx.
Vincent.
I put
just
in.
leave me and Jan will.
I
wrap
put
it
in
up.
3:30 today. In the screen. It's
You have
really
time for a coffee or
a
quick one?
I could do one coffee. Yeah, that'll be all right.
Anything else here in the end?
I'm all good. I asked him everything I wanted to know.
I feel like I know you're busy. You'll have to go and get the kids, but I could talk. I could talk much.
Ah,
more.
for sure.
There, I said before this episode, I want some substance. I want to go deep in this one. I don't feel like we have had. We have touched on some great things, but I think we should talk much more.
We'll do a part 2 with the answer.
Yeah. Let's do a part 2 at some point. Let's do it.
When something nice overall talk.
Yeah.
When something
do a theme.
interesting happens in your life, call us, and then we will do an episode about that.
I don't think it will like. You know. It's just family life. What happens?
Yeah.
You know, it's just those kids. You know, it's a lot of work, and when you have a wife which is professional, and it's not like she's traveling Europe at the moment, but you know, 2 games each week and twice a day training. It's you know, I'm the one picking them up right now.
Yeah, you understand that she needs to focus on training and all that stuff.
Yeah, and also like sleep-wise, you know, when they wake up at the night and scream and cry, it's she's good though. But
you're the Hausfrau.
I've been that. Like the first year in Germany was really tough. Like I was the one taking care of them, and she was actually. They traveled a lot, and also like Germany is. We lived in the south of Germany, and you know, trip. Bus to the north is like could be like 7-8 hours.
Yeah.
So and also like bus to France like the whole weekend. And with 2 small ones, that's quite a job. Yeah.
Yeah. From the day
I'll just say like without a doubt, like the life you are living is just like nothing compared to taking care of twins.
So in terms of how tough it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll say that when you won Indonesia Open, I clearly remember I was sitting in the stands watching it.
Yeah.
And I really envied your life at that time.
Yeah.
I really wanted to win Indonesia Open myself. But when I heard you had twins, I was like, okay, I don't really envy his life anymore.
But it's actually funny because in the beginning you are like super happy, perfect.
Yeah.
It's the best crazy thing that can happen, and super like this is crazy, absurd. I can't handle it. That's the state you go in, like, and then you found your way because nobody else does. So you have to.
When does it start to get a bit easier? At what age?
Maybe now.
Yeah.
Like getting closer to 2 years. I
When
think.
you can drop them off in kindergarten or
Drop them off, of course, and then, but also like then you have like it. Then you actually end up like, oh, you miss them a bit, and then you can be a better version of yourself. That's the whole thing, because you sleep a bit more and you have more time to like
regroup.
Yeah, exactly. But seriously, it's a thing that I have had so many times. It ends up being a totally different thing than a badminton thing, but it's just like having the energy of being the best version or the dad you want to be. I've had like a lot of times where I felt like I couldn't really be the one I wanted to be because I didn't have the energy, and that's a really tough road to go down if you're not feeling like the best dad you can be. That's pretty tough. Like. That's what I meant about it, like best badminton player versus, you know, you want to really do a good job as a dad. That's like, and then you can be all right with less. That's actually that's how I have it. But it's nice now that energy is getting better.
Yeah.
We just leave Anders out.
What an episode! I learned a lot from this one. So thank you guys for watching. It was a pleasure talking to Jan and. Get to know a lot about how to raise kids and be a good father. So
we didn't talk about that though.
No, but
we'll do that in episode 2.
Let's do that. Great episode, guys. Thank you for coming, Jan. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it. Like the video, leave a comment. Maybe give us your best Jan Ø Jørgensen moment ever. That would be great.
Yeah, and don't everyone shouldn't say like the one rally you played against Chen Min.
I hate that one.
Yeah.
Is it still the longest of the rally?
I don't know,
ever?
but it's so annoying. I played so bad at that tournament, and I just played like we talked about. I played like not at all how I wanted to be. It's so annoying.
Yeah.
And everybody just keeps, every time there's the World Championships, keeps coming. Oh, Super Rally, I hate it.
Yeah.
Now we're back into the episode again. Guys, we'll wrap it up here. Bye.
Bye.